and welcome to another how-to video in our series about pencils. Last week I was showing you the techniques on how to free up the hand, and what we're going to do is we're going to progress using this circle on a different page, and I'm going to show you a bit about shading. Shading is something that really intimidates people, but it shouldn't, because it is it's quite easy to do. You can use every pencil out of your art set if you have one, or if all you have is one pencil, like this is an HB that I'm going to draw to begin with, then I'm just showing you how to use a technique with shading that can be used with one pencil on its own or with a number of pencils out of the toolkit. So let's get started. You will need to start with your circle. So hopefully you've practiced all of those and they're perfect little circles. So here is our circle to begin with. So I'm going to make this circle a ball. And a few techniques that I don't think are the best in shading is this idea. So people do this and then they go underneath and they do it again and then they do it again. And it starts to form these little stripes which aren't very consistent and don't really work very well. So what you want to do is, similar to this idea of this round motion, is to just fill in and don't really be too precious about where you're filling in. If there's little hatchy areas like this, that's okay, but you're just quite lightly leaning on the pencil for now. And as with everything, we're going to pretend that the light is coming from over here. So that means this casts a shadow here. So we're going to put our shadow of our ball just here. So that means this one stays light. So what we're going to do is you just start to lean a little bit heavier. Same idea, not worrying too much if it goes, if there's little white bits show. Because a ball is round, you need to make sure that you start to give these little, you nearly cove into it a bit, okay? Because I lean quite heavy over here, this should ideally be a bit lighter, but that's okay. So now, over this side, right where the ball meets its shadow, you want that to be dark, really quite dark, especially until it gets half the way out. So I haven't really lifted my pencil off the page yet, and now I'm back again in the same area, and I am just leaning even heavier again. And like I said, this is all with an HB, even though I don't really rate HBs very much. It just shows you how it can be quite versatile when it needs to be. So, and then once you get over to the part that's going to be in the sun as such, you just want it very gently. You just lift it a bit lighter in the pencil. So all you're doing is going back and forth over it in no particular fashion. If it's a square or something, you can make it really, really linear. You can make the lines very long, but because this is a ball, which is a good place to start really, the more shapes and lines and swirls that you do, the more energy it gives to a ball, especially a ball, because a ball's always going to roll away, isn't it? So you're going to bring that out a wee bit. Even if you bring a little bit around the outside of it, that's creating a little bit more room around it there. And there we go. So there you have it. This is all with one pencil, and all you're doing is going from the lighter bit out to the darker bit. And you're just leaning heavier the further, oh my lead's gone. You're leaning heavier the further out that you get. Okay, I'm going to move on to a 2B here. This is a 3B. So I'm just going to make this really solid. Can you see now that I'm really forcing that down? Same with out here. You're making that really solid. And then in the middle, nice and light again. And you want to make those as seamless as possible. So there you go. Shading with one pencil, and you just start from there, one side, move to the next. Think of where the light's coming in and lean heavier when you're further away, when you're in the darker bits, and lighter when you come in. Okay? That's how you shade. Thanks.